Welcome to the final week of Premier League predictions. It is here, the final week of Premier League predictions, and we're starting on the 19th of May. No nonsense, it's Anfield, it's Liverpool, and they're against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Now Liverpool, bottle jobs, one word to describe them. They somehow bottled another thing. They bottled a lead against Aston Villa, 3-3. Yeah, I am still gonna go Liverpool. Liverpool are at home. They're better than Wolves statistically and overall. So I'm going to go for quite a comfortable 2-0 result towards Liverpool. Now moving on to Bramall Lane. Can Sheffield United do some damage against Tottenham Hotspur? It could be, it's the end of the season. They might as well fight for pride. And they've actually got a few players returning from injury. Maybe Sheffield United can pull an absolute banger because Tottenham fans are celebrating losses these days. Obviously, it's because the rivalry with Tottenham and Arsenal. Tottenham, they didn't want Arsenal to win the title. Right, people, get your opinion down below. I want to know what you think of this situation with Tottenham fans celebrating at Manchester City. Or anything, your predictions, anything. Just put it down below. It's simple. You can literally put anything. Well, I hope you don't put that, but if you do, then... Let me know what you think about that in the comments. I was very tempted to go for a 1-1 draw. Both teams has nothing to play for. I don't know. But I am going to go to Tottenham because they played pretty well against Manchester City. In the first half, they were really good defensively. But yeah, I'm going to have to go Tottenham. They're obviously the favourites. As much as I would want to go 1-1, I'm going to keep it logical. 2-1 to Tottenham Hotspur. Moving on to the next game is at Kenilworth Road. It's Luton Town versus Fulham. And well, am I going to predict an absolute blinding game? A blinding game that no one saw coming. Am I going to say Luton Town are going to win this 6-0? And am I going to say Nottingham Forest to lose at 6-0 so Luton Town will stay up in terms of goals scored? Am I going to say it? I'm going to say a Luton Town win because I just want to. They're home. I love their story. Why not show the entire world what they're made of before they go down to the Championship and leave a good impression to the Premier League? Fulham, you've done well, but overall, it hasn't been as successful of a season as last season. So, yeah, and plus you're away. I think it's going to be very high scoring, as Luton Town games seem to be this season. But I'm going to edge Luton Town because of home advantage and because I just like Luton Town this year. 3-2 to Luton Town and a 5-goal thriller. Moving on to the next games at the Amex Stadium. It's Brighton and Hove Albion versus Manchester United. And for Manchester United, they are awful, although they managed to win against Newcastle United 3-2, which I was really annoyed that I watched that game because it was frustrating. It was so frustrating. I mean, Manchester United started off that game with quite a few mistakes, Casemiro looking lazy, but at the end of it, Casemiro played fantastic defensively in that centre-back position, clearing it off the line, making good passes up there, good defending slide tackles. Amrabat helped out so much. Bruno Fernandes was himself. It was good by Manchester United. There was some signs in that they were good. I hadn't even mentioned Amad Diallo. He's the one for the future in that winger position because he looks superb. He honestly does. But Manchester United, there were some promising signs in that Newcastle game. I'm not going to go for a win though because Brighton also seem to be doing quite well. Yes, they lost to Chelsea, but Chelsea are on good form. They managed to beat Aston Villa of all teams. So I think they'll be able to get a point against Manchester United. I'm going 1-1. Come the final whistle. Moving on to the next games at the Etihad Stadium. It's getting juicy now. We're getting into some juicy games. Manchester City versus West Ham United. West Ham obviously got nothing to play for. Man City have to win this game to definitely secure that first place spot. Man City, you know what? They looked a bit shaky in that first half against Tottenham. They weren't all too sound, and that wasn't the normal Man City. There was a few moments where they were giving away the ball very cheaply to Tottenham Hotspur, but overall they came away with the win. Erling Haaland brace again. His physicality and his dominance is just massive. Erling Haaland. I mean, you already know it. What am I going to say? You know what? Let's spice it up. West Ham United, David Moyes' last game officially. I believe David Moyes is going to leave an impression. It's going to be the shocker of shockers. I feel like because it's David Moyes' last game for West Ham United. West Ham going to put in a great shift. The likes of Jared Bowen and Kudus. What an assist. To get young little Murphy's first goal is sensational. Absolutely fantastic. And I'm going to do it. Sorry, Man City. You looked a bit in the first half against Tottenham. And I think if you do that, I think you could be capitalised on against West Ham, which have got the likes of Kudus and Jared Bowen up there. So I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go for a shocker. I'm going for a 2-2 draw come the final whistle. And I was going to move on to the Arsenal-Everton game, but I'm going to leave that at the end to decide who I think is going to win the league title. But for now, we're going to be moving over to the G-Tech Community Stadium. It is Brentford versus Newcastle United. And well, I predicted back-to-back 3-1 wins for Newcastle. 1-1 draw against Brighton and Hove Albion. A 3-2 loss against Manchester United. You know what? We didn't look that bad. I feel like the third goal Dubravka could probably have saved. And there was a few moments where Dubravka was a bit concerning. But it wasn't a terrible game from Dubravka. That wasn't our main bad thing. I think when trying to feed that final pass, crossing it into the box in the first half, we could not give the service to Alexander Isak. We couldn't give enough service to him. Callum Wilson is returning for this game. And the fact that Callum Wilson's returning, Anthony Gordon, I don't know when he's going to be there, but he's one of our highlight players in that game. Yeah, it was a bit of a mech game. We're on and off in that game. Sometimes we looked like we're a massively better side than Manchester United. And sometimes we just switched off. A bit inconsistent in that particular game. But in this game, Brentford, they are good. Mbwebu and Wissa, sensational, both of them. But I'm going to have to back Newcastle. I mean, if we lose this, we're not getting European football. And we must get European football. We must. Whether it's Conference League or Europa League, I don't care. Conference League will be easier. But I am going to go for another 3-1 to Newcastle United. Hopefully, just hopefully, this can actually come true this time. Moving on to the next game, it's at Selhurst Park. It's Crystal Palace versus Aston Villa. Huge game, massive one, because Crystal Palace are the best team in the world at the moment. At least it looks like it. And well, the front three has been playing fantastic. And to top it all off, they all got goals in that Wolverhampton Wanderers sides. I'm talking about Elise, Eze, and Mateta. Elise also assisting as well. It's fantastic. It is honestly superb. Really, really enjoying Crystal Palace. I think everyone in the right mind is. The fact that they're home here, the fact that they've got the momentum. Sorry, Aston Villa. Yes, he did manage to come back against Liverpool and get a 3-3 draw, which was good. But I am going to go Crystal Palace because they just look like they're on fire. Fire. They are just fire. Absolute fire. So I'm going 2-1 to Crystal Palace come the final whistle. Moving on to the next game, it's at Turf Moor. It's Burnley versus Nottingham Forest. Burnley versus Nottingham Forest on the final day. It's not quite a relegation battle tussle at all. Nottingham Forest, I mean, there's still a chance. I don't think they will. I don't think anyone's predicting a 6-0 loss to Nottingham Forest and a 6-0 win to Luton Town. I don't think anyone's doing that. I'm going to go down the middle. But I feel like Burnley will keep up decent form. And they will at least be able to end off on a sort of high. They will get a point, but not quite 3 points. Because Nottingham Forest are, Nottingham Forest. And I feel like they are looking a bit better. Hudson-Odoi banging in goal after goal in recent time. So I'm going down the middle. Plus Nottingham Forest doesn't have a best away record ever. So I'm going to go 1-1. Come the final whistle between these two sides. Moving on to the next game. It's Chelsea versus Bournemouth. Now, am I going to say Newcastle are going to get 6th place? Or am I going to say Chelsea are going to get 6th place? Well, I did say Chelsea would finish in 7th place this season. But looking at it, they look unstoppable. Cole Palmer scores again. Absolute joke. Reece James does return, got himself an assist. But then in the game after, he gets himself a red card. He stuck a leg out unnecessarily to get that red card. I mean, I could keep on going. Chelsea are looking good. They only just about got a win against Nottingham Forest. But Bournemouth, they lost to Brentford, and I was a bit shocked that they didn't manage to get a win. I'm going for the home advantage. I'm going Chelsea, as much as it pains me to say this, but I think Chelsea will finish above Newcastle. I don't want it to happen. I'm going to be cheering on Bournemouth so Newcastle can get Europa League football. But I'm going to go for a 4-2 scoreline towards Chelsea come the final whistle. And well, it's the big game. At the moment, I have said Man City are going to be finishing off on 89 points against West Ham. I'm going to be an absolute mug for saying this. But it's going to be Arsenal versus Everton. Well, Arsenal are home, and it's going to be low scoring. I mean, Everton, their defence is superb. Branthwaite, Tawaski, and then we have to mention Jordan Pickford. Honestly, looking fantastic. 3 great English players there, keeping clean sheets after clean sheets. So many clean sheets. Sean Dyche's done an absolute fabulous job. Am I going to say they're going to be able to get a draw against Arsenal as well? No. I'm going for it. Blimmin' hell, let's go for it. I'm going for it. I don't care what you think. I'm going for an absolute shocker. And I'm saying Arsenal are going to win the league. Arsenal are going to win the league. It's only going to be just about. It's going to be 1-0. The unlikelihood of this happening is probably 5% chance of happening. But I don't care. I'm going for it. I'm going Arsenal to win the league title. Absolutely bonkers. There's something wrong in my head, I think. But goal of game week 37, I'm going to go for Michael Olise. There was a lot of options, but Michael Olise's goal against Wolverhampton Wanderers, plus a very good performance. So I'm going there. Michael Olise for goal of game week 37. And how did I do in game week 37? Well, there's a possible 26 points to pick up. I only got 7 points out of 26 points. Bit of a met week for me considering those 26 points. But overall, that does put me on 218 points out of 740 points. If you did enjoy this video, and you enjoyed my terrible predictions throughout this entire season, then why not check out this video? Check it out. It will stun you. It will stun you. It's beautiful. Toodle pip, people. Toodaloo. Go on. Go. What are you still doing here? Go. Go!